Now you know it's evening time.
Oh my goodness. Well, what a way to start our live. We are live, everybody. I have Mrs. Ashlia Chisley with me today. We are live for our part two of our four-part series of self-improvement strategies for entrepreneurs. And man, we gonna try to bring the energy tonight, okay? We are bringing the energy tonight. I got on my logo wear. Hopefully, you can kind of see it a little bit. There we go. Bow.
Right, I did the same thing today. I said I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Okay, gotta
Yes, we're
represent.
gonna switch it up. Switch it up. So I love it. Ashley, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are. Tell us about your business. And before we go ahead and get started.
Yes, ma'am. So I am Ashlia Chisley. I am the owner of Simplistic Touch LLC. So I've officially been in business a little over 2 years. I just had my anniversary in July. Yay. So excited about that. And I've actually been organizing since back in 2015, 2016. So like 4 or 5 years prior to starting my business. So I've been organizing for a while. I started with like myself doing friends and family, just kind of, I already was doing it without even realizing that that's what I was doing before organizing even became like a big thing. Now they have the shows and everything. And I'm like, oh, I was kind of already doing that, but okay. So, yes. And being partial caretakers for my grandparents kind of help steer me in that direction too. It just gives me a lot of like peace and tranquility just to be able to transition something from being so hectic into looking like like
Yes.
so that brings me so much joy. So yes, I go into people's homes and their businesses, and I'm basically creating a functional system so that they can operate better and more efficiently. So when they go into places, they don't see a lot of clutter. They're not overwhelmed. They're not stressed and that kind of thing. So that's what I do.
Excellent. 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 Well, I am so excited to talk to you this evening and talk about this topic. I think people tend to underestimate how much a clean space
Mhm.
impacts our mental well
Yeah,
being, our physical well being, just our overall well being in general. So,
absolutely.
I'm so excited to have you back again this year.
Yes.
This is the second year that we are doing this series, Self Improvement Strategies for Entrepreneurs. And this year is all about the word implementation.
Mhm.
So tonight we are going to share ways that people can implement systems and organization in their daily lives. So
Yes.
without further ado, let's just jump right in. Give us some ways that we can implement systems and organization in our daily lives.
Sure. Well, first, I'd like to start with defining what organizing even means, and then also the pros to being organized and the benefits to having an organized lifestyle. I actually listened to Sonia's video. I wasn't able to join in the live when she had it, but it's so funny because I feel like organizing and implementing and self-care is all tied together in self-improvement. Okay,
Yes.
because when you are organized you have balance, right? So and when you have balance you're able to function more properly. So to me, organizing is a mindset. It's not only a mindset, but it's a learned skill through practicing healthy habits. So when I think about that, I think about like right now, the kids are going back to school. So it's like, okay, when the school's in session, now I don't have any kids right now, but I remember back then, when school was in session, you took your bath and your shower at nighttime, you got your homework and everything done, your clothes is all out the night before, your lunch is packed, everything. So then in the morning time,
That's
you
right.
got you brush your teeth, tidy up a little bit, put your clothes on, eat a little breakfast, and it's time to go out that door. So that is like one of the healthy processes that people have put into place now, with the kids going back to school, but that's like a healthy habit. Just an example of what people are doing in just everyday life. So with being organized, I feel like people need to know and understand that it truly is a mindset thing. You have to be disciplined, you have to be committed, you have to be dedicated and open-minded. You can't just go into it thinking like, okay, well, what I've been doing is going to work, because clearly if that was the case, we wouldn't be in the situation, right? So
That's right.
And then also when you're organized, just another pro is I talked about this before, but increasing your productivity. And then you hear people say, work harder, work smarter, not harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what being organized is truly all about. And then when you think about implementation, you think about putting strategies into place so that you can fulfill an action, a goal, or something that you're trying to accomplish. Whereas organizing is the same exact thing. You are putting functions, you're putting systems into place for a better functionality and productivity. So it all ties hand in hand. So if you are not in that mind space to really, really dedicate yourself, then it will be one of those things where you're kind of like in a whirlwind. It's just a continued cycle. You know what I'm saying? So it starts with the mindset and creating healthy habits to keep you on track. So you have a more fulfilled life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I have to share. I've shared it publicly, so it's no secret. The recent issues that I've had with my health and with being in the hospital. But one of the first things that I had to do when I got back home was organize my space. And I'm so thankful. My best friend actually came into town specifically for that purpose of helping me get my space organized when I came back home, when I was discharged from the hospital. And I remember last year you sharing, when you first got married and you and your husband have your home, and you had come back from and it was just stuff everywhere, boxes everywhere, and the first thing you're like, we got to get this stuff organized. We got to take things out. And it made me think of that example that you gave, because that was the same thing. I'm like, I have to organize my bathroom closet, just my dining room. And again, I think we truly underestimate how impactful it is to our health and our well-being when we have a space that is clear. It helps with the mind flow. It just, for me personally,
absolutely
makes it this life better.
And then if you think about it, when one area of your life is chaotic, it overflows into other aspects of your life too. So, people have to really take that into account, that organizing, they think, oh, it's just about, putting some labels and using some bins, but it's so much more bigger than that. You know what I mean? Because you're not only you're changing something, you're changing the flow of something, but then you're changing yourself internally and mentally too. So
that's right. So I will tell you, we worked on, like I said, getting my bathroom closet together. And one of the things that my doctors have me doing is monitoring my blood pressure multiple times a day on a daily basis.
me too.
And when I tell you, I'm like, I waited probably almost a week, thinking that I didn't have a blood pressure pump or a way to monitor my blood pressure. We come organize that closet. Why she found a whole pump in a closet? I'm like, now
didn't know I had that.
Did not know I had it. Was totally embarrassed by the fact that I'm waiting And I didn't need to. I
Right.
I have something in my cart on Amazon because the doctors, there's so many different blood pressure pumps out
Oh
there.
my gosh, tell me about it.
Listen, and the doctor was like, he had recommended an article, a New York Times article for like
Okay.
the 7 top blood pressure pumps to get. So I'm like reading through this article. I done decided on which one. I'm like, I'm just gonna go with one. And thankfully, she finds this blood pressure pump that I already had, saved me about $60 or $70, which
Right,
I'm
because they're
like,
not
okay,
cheap. Right.
yes, they are not cheap. But it's like something so simple. And I use that as an example because being organized, I didn't even you don't even realize what you already have at your
Yep.
disposal.
Out of
So it's
out of
like
sight,
being
out of
able to
mind. Yep.
exactly out of sight. It was tucked away
Mhm.
in a closet somewhere. I don't forget, and I still don't even recall how I had
How
it,
you
where it came from. But
Yeah.
that's irrelevant. It's like
Right.
you have it. You know what I
Right.
mean? You have the resources that you
Right.
need to
Right.
do the things that you needed to do.
That's right.
All you needed to do was just clear out that closet.
Mhm.
It appeared, and
Mhm.
boom, here we go.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, that's a real
That's
world
right.
example,
Yep.
and I just had to share that. So, tell
Yes.
us some other ways that people can implement these tactics in their lives.
Yes, ma'am. So there is an order, but there isn't an order. So I'll start with the first two that I feel like are crucial when you are trying to get organized. And it's not even just a space or an area, but just organized overall in your life in general. You know, whether that's balancing your work and private life, whatever the case may be. So, something that I say, the first thing is setting a goal, have an agenda, know what your purpose is. So there is a
Yes.
method that I don't think that I shared the last time called the SMART method. So what I'll do is I'll go through what each letter means and represents, and then I'll give an example in the organizing world. So the SMART method. So S means being specific, going back to what is the task at hand, what is your purpose, what is it that you're trying to achieve. Okay. The M is for measurable. How do I know when I've reached my goal? What is it going to take for me to accomplish that goal? A is for achievable. This is where I feel like we lack a lot of times, where we have to be practical with ourselves. You know, is this something that I can actually do? You know, do I have the time, the energy, or the resources to make this happen? You know, and then we have R for relevance. Is it necessary? Sometimes we can get caught up in the big scheme of things, and we're like, oh, we have to do this, we have to do this. Yes, we do need to do that, but let's prioritize and figure out what comes first. Is it going to help me in the big scheme of things? And then we have T for time bound, my commitment, the time frame, and the money that it's going to take to complete this project or whatever that I'm trying to do in my life. And to kind of put that in organizing terms, I would say an example could be organizing a closet. So my purpose is me wanting to organize my master closet so that when I go in, I do not have to search for items. The measurable, the M being measurable, is I'll know when I reach my goal, when I have that peace of mind, when I can go into my closet and I don't have to, when I'm looking for a shirt, I'm actually going through pants and, you know, scarves or whatever else that I might have in there. And then A is being practical with myself. Am I able to really organize or revamp this closet? Do I have the tools to do it? Do I have the bins, or did I take proper measurements that I needed to kind of make this happen? R is for relevance. Is it necessary? Absolutely, is necessary because
Mhm.
my mindset, right? So I
Yes.
need my overall well being will be great when I'm not stressed looking at this closet. right? So,
Yes.
and then time is me being committed, setting the time, looking at my calendar and actually penciling in what I need to pencil in so that I can make sure it gets done. Because if I don't have it penciled in, it's not going to get
That's
done.
right. That's
So,
what I say. If it's not on the calendar, it did
yes,
not happen.
yes. So, and then when you have your agenda and you're utilizing your list, I feel like that is also a way for us to hold ourselves accountable, right? And so that we can make sure that we are being productive.
Yes.
So that would be the first, Jewel. I know you say you're going to say
Love
something.
it. Love it. Yeah. So I was just going to say, call out how much time saved being organized helps with. So once that closet, I got that bathroom closet done. The next time I worked on my daughter's hair, I'm like, it even sped that process up because now I'm not spending time looking for combs. I had all of the supplies that I need at my disposal right away to be able to do her hair. And that just made the whole experience better.
Exactly.
Now she's not, crying or waiting on me to do it. It just sped everything up. So
and she probably doesn't, and she wouldn't pick up on you probably feeling the anxiety of having to gather and try to find whatever you're trying to look for to do her hair. So yeah,
that's a word, because man, I get so frustrated when I cannot find something that I'm
yes, it is. And it's always like a time management thing too, right? Which actually is my next jewel that I was going to share with you guys is how to implement is time management, because it's so easy to get swept up in the day. You think like, oh, okay, we have 24 hours in a day, but them hours go by real quick, okay? Like the swiftness. I used to feel like when nothing is occupying my time, that the time goes by slow. When I'm having fun, it's like the time going fast, and I'm like, dang, no, I just want the time to slow down a little bit, you know? So I would say practicing time management is like so important. My goddaughter, she just turned, well, not just turned because she's about to be 17 in February. Lord Jesus, the fact that 2023 is right around the corner is just tripping me out. But anyway, she is 16 and she has her own where she paints and does canvases, which is what I have behind me right now. And I was texting her and she's like, hey, Auntie, we're talking about her going to this this dance this weekend. And she's like, yeah, if I don't text you back, it's because I'm painting. I'm trying to practice not being on my phone. I'm trying to limit my distractions. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome for you to have that discipline and commitment and boundaries for yourself at that age that's pretty good, right?
Yes.
So being able to limit our distractions will help with time management. And then planning ahead, like how I talked about, the kids getting ready for school, doing those things the night before is going to help the process in the morning time when it's time for the kids to go out the door, or when you're prepping a meal, you don't just pull out a frozen chicken right out the freezer and drop it in some grease. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to let that chicken thaw. You got to clean it. Rinse it off and season it, let it marinate or whatever you're going to do with it. And then you got to let that heat cool and let that oil get hot. And then you can do whatever you're going to do with your chicken. So there's a process. So when you plan ahead, it kind of helps you stay ahead of the ball game a little bit. But there's always going to be, distractions come and wherever you from what you're trying to do. So when you try to stay a step ahead, that just kind of helps you.
Yes. A slogan that my former pastor, God rest his soul, used to say is proper preparation prevents poor performance. And I also like to say there is power in the preparation. So you talking about like when we were kids, laying out the clothes. I still do that to this day because I'm like, if I don't decide what I'm going to wear the night before, I'm going to be late.
Yes.
I'm gonna be late.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna try to find something to wear, and then I'm gonna end up not liking what I picked out to
Right.
wear. So I'm
Right.
trying to find something else to wear. And it's like,
Right.
no, just take the time the night
Mhm.
before to pick it out,
That's
maybe even try it on to make sure that it's fitting
there it is.
properly.
Yep.
Find the shoes that you want to wear with it.
Yep.
So all of these things help with your morning flow to
Yes.
keep you on track so that you can be on
Yes.
time for where you need to be.
Yes. Yes. And then also a couple other things with helping with time management is knowing how to prioritize and saying the word no when necessary. That's actually
Yes.
something that I probably still struggle with to this day because I'm just a general caring person. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I have to tell myself, like, have a talk with myself sometimes, like, Ashley, and now you tired, you can't do that. Like,
Right.
don't even try it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to yourself. And
Right.
then being realistic with yourself too, because sometimes people think they can multitask and they can't.
That's
So
right.
knowing when you can and can't multitask, and sometimes multitasking can just throw your whole process off and then put you further back than where you want to be. So
Yes.
it's only beneficial if that is a tool that you're able to do, but not everyone is able to do that. So
Yep.
knowing when you're able and not able to do that is cool, because sometimes I can multitask and sometimes I can't. It really just depends on what I'm doing,
Yes.
and how much detail I have to put into something. So
Yes. And in this day and age, think about how many people have caused accidents because of distracted driving or
mhm,
just trying to do too much. And it's
right,
like all of the distractions that come our way, our society is so
yes,
distracted in this day and
yes,
age. So we have to learn and be disciplined. There's that discipline
that's
word
discipline,
again.
right, right,
Yes, to focus on one
yep,
thing at a time.
yep, that's right. So the third jewel that I'm going to share with you guys is declutter and detaching. So this is
Mm,
something that we all struggle with. I'm not going to say, you or whatever, because I know that we all, even to this day, I still have my issues where it's like when you go through life, you have memories, right? And you want to hold on to those great events or moments that you had at a particular moment, but not everything can be captured, right? So knowing when to detach, and knowing how to declutter. So ways to do that is knowing how to maximize on your space without overcrowding. Just because you have the space does not mean that it has to be utilized.
yes.
So
Say that again, Ashlia.
just because you have the space does not mean it needs to be utilized. It is
Yes.
okay to have a empty shelf or an empty drawer. It is okay, because then that means that you are allowing yourself room to grow, right?
Yes.
So um, and then when I think about decluttering and detaching, I think about when you go into a room, what is it that you want that space to look like? What do you envision for that space? If you go in that area and you are like, man, okay, uh, I have a lot of books over here and I can barely step over this stuff, or that's when you need to go back and you need to revamp your process and your strategies that you have in place. So
Hmm.
knowing how to separate yourself, know your limitations. Excuse me. I would say practice minimalism. A lot of times uh I know I used to have a shopping problem. Thank you, Lord, for delivering me from that. So
Say, I've been delivered.
know your limitations and practice minimalism. Like I said, you do
Yes.
not have to fill in every nook and cranny that is open, okay? Because it's okay. It's okay
Yeah.
just to have that space there. Um, and then think about, is something doing you more harm than good when you're holding on to something? Whether it's a blanket or something. Like I actually just went through some of my keepsake stuff, and I pitched like a lot of stuff, stuff
Mm.
maybe that may have been from like our wedding stuff, people that have wrote us like little notes and stuff. We've read though, we've been married a little over 3 years. So we've read a couple of them during those anniversaries. So there's really no need to hold on to them because, we're already practicing that kind of stuff or, that type of thing. So just knowing your limitations and then knowing if it's doing more harm than good. And then I also say with decluttering and detaching to practice the 3 R's, which are reusing, recycling, and repurposing. It's okay to repurpose something as long as it's not adding more clutter or chaos, because sometimes that we say that we're trying to repurpose something, but it's really just our way to hold on to something because we're not quite ready to part from it. So
listen,
like I said, know your limitations, right?
girl, let me tell you something. I have a fun. So I have issues with this. Y'all pray for me. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and be on Front Street. I have issues with this. So the other day we went, supported my cousin's restaurant. He owns a vegan food truck. Shout out to Vegan Meats, Treats and Eats. Okay. But they sell these ginger beers. And I'm like, oh my God, babe, look how cute these bottles are. We done drunk the ginger beer. It's gone. I'm like, don't throw the bottle away. I want to use it for something.
That's me. Right. Especially when it's cute.
Girl, let me tell you something. I done took the bottles. I done soaked the bottles. I'm like, I'm going to take these labels off. I'm going to find something to use these bottles for.
Roll them bottles away.
Girl, I'm so proud of myself. I finally said, you know what? I'm fixing to throw these bottles away. I'm not about to use these bottles for nothing.
Good for you, right?
Like, that is just ridiculous. And it held space probably for a week or two.
A couple weeks,
yes, before because it held space in the dish bin.
Yes.
Because it's not like it ever came to me what I could potentially use these bottles for. I'm just like, oh, they so cute.
Right.
I love the way they look. Girl, throw them bottles away.
Yes. Literally
throw it away or recycle it.
Yes.
Just
let me tell you, it's okay, because even as an organizer, I still go through it. Like, I can't help but to look at bins and containers when I'm at stores. And a friend of mine works at Drake Hospital with her mom, and I guess they were giving away, like the hospital bins. They're like little cubbies, but they're stackable. And I was like, oh, I can do so much with this. I'm gonna make a cork board in the garage and hang them on there. And girl, I had probably about 50 of them bins down in the garage. Now, Ashlia, you know daggone well, you know better than this. I had to pitch it, okay? Put it out that week for trash. I said, because if it's taking months for me to do something, that means that I'm not dedicated to doing that. And it's not going to happen. So, bye-bye.
Yes. Let it go.
Yes, let it go.
Let
it go. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, Lord help it.
That's
I was so mad at myself.
You have to have those conversations. Yes, you have to. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You have to have those conversations with yourself, or at least have somebody to hold you accountable. Absolutely. To ask you those questions, like, now, what are you going to use this for? Or why are you holding on to this? Like, sometimes it literally takes that pause.
It does.
For us to say, okay, what are we using this for? If it's not useful, then it's time to let it go.
Right.
Time to let it go.
Right. So I just have 2 more jewels to share with you. The second from last is utilizing your resources. We have so many resources to help us be organized, but we do not utilize them. We have calendars. planners. We can do lists. Now there's my friend even does it where she's on Etsy and she creates like to-do lists or agenda type of list type of thing, so to help people stay organized. And she mainly did it because she's a mom, so she wants to make sure that she's on track and that she's not all chaotic and everything.
Yeah.
So, and now with technology does everything for us. Like there's no
Yes.
reason not to be organized at this point because there's so many automations. So we
So
have,
true.
yes, we have timers, we have labels, label makers, bins, containers, baskets, wall boards, people do the vision boards. Like all of that stuff is useful. And now they have like organizing apps like Toggle, ClickUp, AnyDo. So there's like a variety of resources for us to utilize to stay organized and to have a productive life. It really is.
Yes. Yes.
It really
And the
is.
one thing that I would say is it does, like, I love all of the resources that you shared and that are available to us, but sometimes we don't even have to overcomplicate it with things. Like,
Right.
I just started using a simple note on my phone and writing out the list.
Yeah.
And not even like, it has helped me tremendously just to be able to take it from my brain and
Mm-hmm.
put it down somewhere
Okay.
so
Yep.
that I'm not allowing it to continue to go around in my head on, I need to do this, I need to do
Yes.
this. No, let me
Yes.
just write it down on a to-do list or put
Mm-hmm.
it on a note in my
Mm-hmm.
phone so that I can go back to it and
Right.
pace myself for when I can get it done. So
Right.
I love that advice.
Right. And you have to know what resources work for you. You know,
Yes.
I am not a digital person all the time, but I utilize my Google Calendar when I have like some tasks where I need like pop-up reminders for.
Yeah.
But I mainly have my paper planner and calendar that I write all of my things out that I need to do for, on a weekly or daily basis. So utilize the resources that's best for you. And sometimes you have to revamp those resources based off of the shift that you've had in your life and your lifestyle. So sometimes
Yeah.
that may change. Maybe you go from, you notice you're using too many post-it notes and you got paper everywhere, and you're like, okay, I need to try to minimize this and try to go to the digital world. You know what I mean? So there's so many resources. You just have to figure out what works best for you. And the only
Yeah.
way to do that is by doing it and creating the healthy habits, right?
Yes.
So
Great.
the last one that I have is like a combo. So it is delegating, revamping, and rewarding. So
Mm.
don't try to do it all yourself. And I'm big on that. My husband was recently so mad at me because we are currently, I should say I am, because I've pretty much just taken over the task. But I've been asking him, like, I want to do a rock landscape in our around our house, backyard, that kind of thing, garden area. And he's like, okay, when are we gonna do that? When would you like to do that? He even asked, like, okay, when would you like to set this up so we can put it on the calendar? All right. And we had it on the calendar. And what do? I have a free day. And I'm like, oh, it's so nice outside. I can't wait to go out there and start this rock garden. And he comes home and he's like, what the heck happened? So don't try to do it all yourself, guys, okay?
Right. Right.
Use your help when you have people that are there to help you, and delegating to people when necessary. But you also have to know who to delegate things to so that it's not overwork for you to have to go back and check the work. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, be conscious, be detailed when you are delegating, and communicate effectively. Um, Something that I struggle with still as an organizer is
Mhm.
making sure that you are trying to avoid perfection,
Yeah.
because it's so hard. You want everything to be great, right? So, but that's just not how life works.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Last year, I talked about if I had to give anyone some words of wisdom, and that was being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's another part of being open-minded, and then not trying to be so perfect and being okay with things going wrong so that you can learn from them.
Yes.
And then reward yourself or reward the people that are assisting you, whether that is a thank you card, thank you note, call, text, whatever that is. If you're rewarding yourself, if that's a spa day, or you just don't want to do anything at all and just want to shut off, all electronics, or you want to go on a trip, or whatever the case may be, just make sure that you take the time out to reward yourself when you are accomplishing the goals that you've set for yourself. So,
Yes, yes. I love, oh my goodness. Well, I hope when people, whether they're watching live or come back to watch the replay, have their paper and their pens and are taking notes, because you have dropped so many jewels and just so important, especially with the times that we're living in. I love what you said about delegating. I think a part of delegation is also being able to give and receive grace, and
absolutely.
also have an understanding that not everyone is going to do things the way that you do it. In fact, it's pretty much impossible, because we are
Yes.
all, fearfully and wonderfully made. We all have our own individuality and our
So true.
uniqueness, and
Yep.
it is just unrealistic for us to expect someone to do a thing exactly
Yes.
how we do it. We
Yes.
can explain it, we can
Right.
draw
Right.
directions, which is all great things to do.
Right.
But
Yes.
at the end of the day, we're human beings, and people have their
Absolutely.
own minds, their own
Absolutely.
creativity, their own way of going about it. So
Mhm.
I'm talking
Mhm.
to myself right now, really, because I can be, a type A perfectionist,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to business, but
Mhm.
it's important, especially to uphold the morale of your team, to be
Absolutely.
able to respect people and meet them where they
Yes.
are. So
Yes. So, so true. So, so
love,
true.
love, love those
So, so
tips. Oh
true.
my goodness. Well, before we close, I want to play a quick game of this or that, just so that we can
Okay.
end on a light note. You all can continue to get to know Mrs. Ashlia better as a master organizer herself, and just understand what she will choose in the game of this or that. So, Ashlia, I have several prompts here,
All
and
right.
I'm going to read the two, and you can let me know this or that, and maybe sometimes both, and your reason why. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and get started.
All right.
All right. So the first one is, would you rather keep a grocery list or a recipe binder?
Definitely a grocery list. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I actually have a recipe binder, but I don't even use it. Like I
Mm,
literally have a basket on my counter full of recipes that I'm like, okay, when I have kids, I'm gonna be able to go back to them and have those.
mhm.
So that's probably gonna be something that's gonna be revamped this week because I'm just gonna get rid of that. But um grocery list, because
Yes.
I get distracted when I go into the grocery store, especially if there's
Yes.
like amazing deals. Like I'm like, oh
Yes.
wait, what did I come in here for? Hold on. Okay. I needed to get some soap, some dish liquid. Like, so yes,
Stay
I
focused.
definitely
Stay
have,
focused.
yes, because I need to have tunnel vision at the grocery store. I will get
Yes.
sidetracked and be having stuff in the cart that I didn't even need. Like, no,
Yes.
no.
It happens so easily. I'm the same way. I wouldn't call it a binder, but I also like hold on to recipes,
Okay.
and I could probably count on one hand the amount of time that I have gone to those recipes and
Right?
tried something new. I
Right.
mean, we are creatures of habit. So it's like usually I'm just getting the same thing, cooking the same thing from week to week,
Mm-hmm.
until I get tired of
Right.
eating the same thing. And I'm like,
Right.
let me find something new to
Right.
cook. So then it's
Right.
like, okay, I may pull out a book or a recipe
Yes.
guide, but I'm the
Plus, I
same
never follow the instructions anyway, so
way.
it's
And
kind of
that too.
pointless.
And that too. Then there's that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this or that, dedicating one day to clean, or performing small cleaning tasks each day. Which one would you rather do?
absolutely doing a small task each day.
Okay.
So I was raised, my grandmother always taught me to clean up as you go. So
Mm.
even when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I am literally cleaning as I go because I'm trying to plan ahead so that when all the food is done, I don't have to worry about doing all of these dishes because they're already clean.
I'm like, get off camera, your hair not done.
She said, "Mommy, I'm telling on you."
Cover that thing up, girl.
That is so funny. But yes. So I have to have um I lost track of my.
I'm sorry. Clean as we go.
Yes, clean as I go because I
Yeah.
don't. It takes me probably 3 or 4 hours to clean my house in full. So
Yes.
yeah, if I could clean up as I go, I'm good. Then it doesn't seem so overwhelming for me.
Yep. Yep. I aspire to be that way in all things. So I'm pretty
Yes,
good about
ma'am.
that. The same way in the kitchen, but in other areas of the home, like doing laundry, I'm like, oh Lord, this thing be
Understand.
just piled up.
You just
It's
gotta be
like, oh my
dedicated
goodness.
and put the time aside. Yep.
Yes. And I'm like, I know if I was to do a load each day, oh my goodness, that would just save so much time and
Yeah.
overwhelm. But
No.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
So let me just say this real quick because I laugh at myself sometimes. So when it comes to the laundry, I get upset. So after I have we have like the three hampers separate and the one big
Hmm.
thing. So when they're all clear, like if I do laundry during the day and there is something like that night in one of those bins, it like sends me over, okay? Because I'm like, no, even though I know that clothes are supposed to go in there and they're going to be in there, it's just like I just did this large task and now there's more clothes.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness.
The struggle is real.
Wow. Yes. The struggle is real. Oh, that
Yes.
laundry. Okay, this or that. Shredding paper or filing paperwork.
Filing paperwork. I
Okay.
hate shredding because the shredder, I feel like it always gets hot so fast. I don't have time to wait for that thing to cool down unless I'm going to some high tech place or something. So I will file some paper. And plus, that brings me joy and it calms me. So it's like that's not an
Mm.
issue for me. I already enjoy organizing. So putting filing
Hmm.
some paperwork is a piece of cake, piece of pie.
Hmm. Now, see, I will say I'm on this one. I'm the opposite. Like, I like
Okay.
shredding. And it's actually one of the tips you gave me as we were working together for organizing
Mm-hmm.
is set aside time, whether it's each day or a dedicated day, to
Mm-hmm.
just get your shredding done.
Yes.
And I'll say I haven't kept up on that task. I'm sorry. Let me see what this child done got. Oh, Lord. She got some shea butter. Okay, it's fine. Moisturize your skin, girl.
Right, right.
Um, but I have maintained my shred box. So I have a
Good,
box that I
good.
have paper that is dedicated to that I know needs to
Nice,
be shredded. So
nice.
now it's like, okay, when I get some free time or when I make the time to shred it, I know everything in this box has to be shredded. So
And you've
I'm gonna go
already
with shredded on this one.
you've created your system that works for you because you have a
Yes,
place that you're putting the items that need to be shredded, and it's
yes,
automatically registered in your head. Like, okay, I'm not gonna put this lump sum of paper on my desk or the chair or whatever. I'm gonna put it in
that's
this
right.
bin because I know it needs to be shredded, and I'm gonna set the time aside to shred it. That's awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. Okay, so we kind of touched on this one, but this or that, wash dishes or do laundry.
Okay, so I rather do laundry.
Okay.
Um, luckily for the most part, my husband, if I cook, he'll do dishes for me, so that works out.
Nice. Nice.
But that doesn't always work all the time because sometimes I just go ahead and do them. He'll be like, "Well, why did you do that?" And I'm like, "Because
Yes.
I can't help
Yes.
it." But yeah, so I would rather definitely do the laundry. Plus, I like putting the things back. I know that it's going to go back exactly how I want it. If
Yeah.
it's folding clothes or something like that, I like it to look a certain way. So I know it's going to be a certain way. So
Okay.
it's relaxing for me to do that. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go with neither on this one, girl. Can we just hire somebody? Can we just find somebody to do both? Lord, give me a whole house cleaner.
Now I'm not opposed to that either. Now.
Woo!
Yes,
Listen,
ma'am.
after being on this computer all day, I'm like, do
Tell me
what
about it.
dish? Do
Tell
what
me about it.
laundry? No. I'm gonna go with neither. Y'all don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay, this or that. Are we gonna donate old clothing or sell it to a consignment shop?
I am big on donating. I don't have the time to go to a store to try to set up some prices or anything for a consignment. I just don't have the time or the energy, and I really don't care, honestly. I'd
Yes,
rather someone be able to get enjoyment out of it, and it's not something that they had to pay for, and it's like they went and they like, okay, this is something that I need, like this is beneficial, crucial for me to survive, type of thing,
yeah,
rather than feel like in order to get what is a necessity, they have to pay for it. So I'm big on donation. I pretty much go through my stuff every year. Like even this year, I've oh gosh, I normally only have like one or two like large bags of donations, but this year I've gone at least 3 times already with trucks and
wow.
stuff. So yeah,
That's awesome. That's
yes,
awesome. I would
donate,
probably
donate.
say, yeah, I would say donate as well. Back when I was younger, before I had a child,
Yeah,
I would take
yeah.
the time to do that, to go to a consignment shop. And I still kind of will sometimes will do it with her clothing.
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
because kids grow so fast. And I'm
That's
like,
true.
surely I
That
can
is
make
true.
some
Right.
kind of coin back
Something
for
out of
it.
right,
Like,
especially if
oh
she's
my
never worn
goodness.
it. Yeah, 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 for
Exactly.
sure.
Shoes be
Yeah.
brand new. She done
Mhm.
grew out of them already. I'm
Right.
like, let me try to see if I can sell these first before
Yes.
donating. But so I'm not
Yes.
opposed to either.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, this is our last one. This or that, a printed calendar or a digital calendar. You already touched on this. But yes,
Yeah, because I use both. So
yes,
I mostly use my planner hand, to write in, so I can write all my stuff out, scratch out what I need to. I really just use the digital stuff for more of like a timer or like a reminder of when I need
yes,
to do something, because then it's like maybe I need to set a couple reminders earlier in the day, and then maybe like an hour or 30 minutes prior to something happening, I'm like, oh yep, I got to do that, because sometimes you can get so lost in the day, you're like, oh gosh, I got to do that, I got, so
yes,
I'd probably do a correlation of both of them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right,
Mhm.
girl, we're gonna wrap this up because my child over here, she getting ready to empty out this whole jar of shea butter. Okay. Lord have mercy.
Well, she timed that perfectly because we right at
Listen.
the end.
So as we close, please tell the people where they can find you, how they can contact you to utilize your organizing services.
Yes. So my website is www.simplistictouch.com. I am on Instagram as Simplistic Touch LLC, and I am on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn as Simplistic Touch. And you can Google me.
Yes, Google me, baby. Google me, baby. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ashlia. I appreciate you taking the time out of your
No
evening
problem.
to
Thank you for
share all
having
of the
me
jewels.
again.
Yes, to share
Thank
these jewels
you.
and gems that you share with the people. And I look forward to coming back
Yes,
again next
ma'am. Yes,
year.
ma'am. Okay. This is gonna be
Yes.
an annual thing, baby.
That's right. That's right. Because it's one thing to do it once to start something, but it's another to implement
That's
consistency and
right.
do it again.
That's
And
right.
that, my folks, is how you work on
Yes.
self improvement,
Yes.
implementing it
Love
day
it.
after day, time after time, and being
Mhm.
consistent with it. So, with that, it's a wrap. And we look forward to seeing you next year.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.